Hey guys, it's Turn77 bringing you some Street Fighter Cross Tekken, specifically Paul in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I finally got some time to dig into this game last night, and it's really fun. I like it. I spent a lot of time dedicating time to Paul because I've never been a Tekken player. I don't know too much about that. I know of Paul, but Guile is my guy, and he definitely had to be on my my team in this game. Once I saw Paul and I saw that hair, man, I just had to make it work. Because look at that team. You know that's coming at you. Like, what are you supposed to do about that? There's not much you can. So anyway, I've been messing with him a lot, and I really like him. So let's go ahead and get him in here and see the kind of stuff he can do. I feel like he's a basic yet very strong character. Actually, kind of similar to Guile in a lot of respects, to where he has a basic tool set. It's just all about how you use those tools. Not of course he doesn't have the zoning and stuff like Guile, but and all that. But anyway, let's get down to it. Let's start with his normals. He's got a jab. Everybody's got a jab. It's pretty good, just like everybody else's, except his, it's good for pressure. It's got some definite reach. So it's not bad. And it seems to be a decent anti-air against some dive kicks and stuff too, so keep that in mind. Standing medium, decent poke. Position is not the best to be an overall poke, but it doesn't have that much range. But it's okay. I mean, it's about the same as the jab's range, a little bit longer. But anyway, it's a decent poke. It's not awful. Standing heavy is interesting. It's slow startup and range might not be what you want, but there's some interesting properties to it. Example, if you charge up a counter hit, or unless you actually get a counter hit, it will crumple. And there's some interesting setups you can actually do with that, since it does have more range than your basic attack, and the hitbox on it is just kind of weird. It's like it's hard to explain. I'll show you later, but yeah, it's hard to see what's coming. I don't know. The hitbox is just strange. So anyway, so there's that. You got your standing light. I thought it hit low, but apparently it is not, which is kind of a bummer. But from the tests I've done, but it's okay. Decent poke that can chain in. Got standing medium, which is a great poke. This is a really good move. I like this move a lot because not only is it a good poke, but it has a whole lot of pushback. I feel like it just really hits good. Even when block, it has a whole lot of pushback, so it's really nice. And then you got your standing heavy kick, which is it's a decent poke in itself as well. It's kind of at a weird angle, so you have to kind of come at it. Like it can be a decent anti-air, but you have to kind of time it right and be, has to be the right situation and stuff. But as a poke, it's okay. It's just because of the weird angle, you kind of have to, know when to use it. Standing medium alone will really get a lot of your poking done for you in crouching medium. And now we'll get to the crouching attacks. His crouching punches are actually very similar to Guile's. He's got his jab. It's not quite rapid fire like Guile's, but it's good. Got his medium, very similar to Guile's, very similar range and everything. Good tool overall, and it's also cancelable. So is his light. And crouching fierce, also very similar to Guile's, but not as nearly as good. It's good, but don't be fooled. It's not quite as good of an anti-air as it might look. It can be used definitely, and it can be used correctly, but it's not like Guile's where it's gonna hit way above him. And it doesn't cover as much range as you might think. So make sure you test it out on some jump ins and stuff before you go in all willy-nilly throwing it out like I was doing. Okay, so crouching light, pretty solid. Crouching medium, very good move. Very, very good poke. Very quick, and also special cancelable in any way. So that's great because look at that poke range. That's really good, and his knee will just bring him right in if you can cancel in time. And then you got your crouching heavy sweep. If you're into sweeps, it's a pretty good sweep for this game. It's got a good amount of knockback, so if it does get blocked, it's gonna be kind of hard to punish. So yeah, it's a decent sweep if you're into that. Air moves, jumping light punch, I have not really messed with very much. Seems like it might be a decent air to air. Jumping medium punch is a very good air to air. Jumping heavy punch is a good, get off me move, and it's also good for getting you in there deep if you need to. Jumping light kick, whatever, good air to air maybe. And it seems like it would be okay for corner pressure. Jumping heavy kick, you have to take into account that there's a pretty not a huge startup, but there is a startup on it. It's decently significant compared to some other jumping heavy kicks. Just make sure you take that into account. It can really get you in there deep, but just know, you know, there is a wind up on this sucker. Like, see, if you try to jump in, well, that did work, huh? But if you try to jump in and just swing it out there like some, you know, just get real deep in there, it's not gonna work. So you have to make sure that you got enough time. Now, the star of the show for his normals, I feel, is his jumping medium kick. This move is great. Not only is it just a great jump-in move, you know, it starts up nearly instantly and pretty much gets you a free combo at any time. But it is just a monster cross-up. Check this out. Look at that. It's just like it crosses up so well. There's so many times where I didn't think this move was gonna cross up, and it just totally crosses up. It's got such a far range, you know, and it just goes so deep. Look at that. Very, very good move, and just free combo anytime. You know, of course, I wasn't expecting. There we go. Free combo anytime. You can even get crouching fierce off that, you know, like, or any sort of, you know, slow ass move. Like, you know, it is a great move. Definitely make sure that is one of your priorities for Paul, if you decide to learn him, is to get the hang of his jumping medium kick, because it's a very, very good move overall. Solid stuff. So that's his normals, and they're good. You know, he's got some solid pokes in there. Not quite, you know, I mean, nobody's gonna really be able to compete with characters like Guile and stuff when it comes to pokes. Well, actually, in this game, it is a little bit debatable, but he has solid pokes. I like his normal attacks, and that's a very important factor for me with a character's good normal attacks, and his normal attacks work well for me, so that's good. Now let's go into his command normals, which are his you know, unique attacks that he has. He has 2 overheads. This is the first one. It's called the Hammer of the Gods. This hits overhead, and when you just hit it like this, there's really nothing you can do after it. Like, you know, you can't, as far as I know, you can't even get a link. You can't do anything like that. It's just purely overhead. It does a decent amount of damage, 60. You know, that's just a medium punch. But if you charge it up for a counter hit, or if you hit in the air, it will ground bounce. So you can definitely get a follow up then. So there are uses for it, for sure. It's not the best just as an overhead. But if you have a counter hit ready, or if you manage to hit a counter hit, or if, you know, you can hit it in the air, which is especially useful if he's coming in from attack combo. A lot of times you can just come in, smack him out of the air, and start whatever combo he wants to do, because that ground bounces him. It's good, so it's a good tool for him to have. It really is. Now he has another overhead that looks very similar. It's forward heavy, not forward medium like the other one, and I'm not exactly sure what this one's called, but this can lead into his Demolition Man special, which I will go over in just a second. But as this, it's just overhead. It does 50 damage. You know, it's just like, okay, cool, another overhead. But the little special thing about this one is that he can cancel it into his Phoenix Breaker. And as far as I know, he cannot cancel it into any other special move that I know of. But Phoenix Breaker works just fine, and that is really great, because Phoenix Breaker is probably his best special move. Does a lot of damage, super quick, keeps pressure on, and if you, you know, like, this is not the best combo in the world, everybody knows that. It is solid damage for 2 hits, but if you decide to burn a meter, you can start a combo right there, you know, like right from there. And that's really cool to have that option. You know, you might have to burn a meter to really get a strong combo out of it. But he has a good overhead that's fairly quick. It is kind of easy to see coming if you're looking for it, though. But, you know, you can go right into that, and that's good. Anyway, there's that, and then there's his Demolition Man special, is combination. And what this is, it starts with down forward heavy kick. And that starts with that. Now, as far as I can tell, this looks like it might be safe on block, but I'm not exactly sure. It definitely has some pushback, so even if it's not safe, it's probably going to be kind of hard to punish. But, you know, you can just start with this, and then if you decide to keep going, you mash punch. That does the second part. And that will always hit regardless of where you're at. Now, the third part, you keep mash and punch. It will only hit when you're in the corner. It doesn't have to be directly in the corner. It starts getting dangerous. Well, you're going to roll over there, were you? It starts getting dangerous about around this territory right here, because he'll just bring him all the way to the corner. And once you're in the corner with the Demolition Man, you can juggle afterwards. I think you only get 1 juggle, maybe. I haven't really practiced the juggle very much off of that. But yeah, anyway, there's that, and the thing is, you can lead into that from the overhead that's cancelable into Phoenix Breaker, but it will never combo unless the overhead is a counter hit. So watch it. Even if I hit this, that does not combo. Now, I could see this being good for like high-low mix-ups. It actually might be better if the first hit does not connect the overhead, because if you do, even if you do make this a counter hit, to where it will connect. See, the last hit still will not. So I think that it could be good as a you know, high-low mix-up in the corner. And you're going to throw this at them. Hope that they block that, honestly. Hope that they block the overhead. And then maybe catch them with the sweep real quick and go into the Demolition Man combo. You can also combo into the Demolition Man just like you would pretty much any other combo, as long as you get deep enough. See? And see, at that point in time, it won't work. But this should work, I think. Yeah. See, at that point, you're close enough to the corner to where it works. And it does some solid damage. It's good to have. It's a nice little low, you know, mix-up that he can go right into from anywhere. And juggle afterwards. And you know, I haven't really gotten the hang of the timing after that juggle yet, but it definitely seems useful. So yeah, that's basically his command normals. You know, his two overheads are both useful in their own ways. This one mainly seems for air combat, and you know, if you have a counter hit ready. And this one is mainly for going into the Phoenix Breaker and possibly setting up a mix-up with Demolition Man. But you know, good tools to have, good stuff. So that's his command normals. Let's go ahead and get into his specials. His best special is probably his Phoenix Breaker, and that's this awesome punch you've been looking at right here. The best part about this move is, as far as I can tell, it's safe on block. It might not be if not spaced correctly, but as far as I can tell, it's safe on block, which is great because it gives Paul some serious pressure game. The heavy version can go really far, and yeah, it does a lot of damage. You know, 120 damage for that. It's good stuff. It's also very easily comboable off of like any of his cancelable moves, pretty much. So you know, that will always work. See, that was a block. So let's see if I can get him. I don't want to. Yeah, there we go. See, it looks very safe as long as you have it kind of spaced correctly. As long as you're not like right up in their face and hit the heavy one, I feel like, then it will always be safe. But yeah, it's a very good move. It's got a ton of uses, because not only is it good for pressure, but it's just good for in combos. It's very similar to something like Makoto's Charge Punch. But great move. The EX version will give you a wall bounce. Now the thing is you have to be careful with this, because it can be useful for mid-screen. Like, let's say you snag a combo and you want to, you know, add just a couple extra hits onto it. It's good, but you have to be careful, because in the corner he will not recover in time for a juggle, as far as I can tell. So it's mainly only useful for mid-screen. But you know, like it seems like specifically for stuff like that, that's great to have, because you know that just starts your combo right there. So that's good. Phoenix Breaker, very useful. Make sure you get the hang of it. Make sure you get the hang of how long, you know, how far each one goes and everything. Also know that this is his charge move, so this is what you're gonna be doing to get counter hits and stuff like that. And also know, yeah, you know, you can dash out of it. You know, I haven't really messed with charge dash shenanigans yet, but you know. Also, another thing about the Demolition Man special, really quick, I forgot to say. Like I was saying, I think this part is safe on block, but I'm not quite sure. The second part looks like the least safe part on block. So if you decide to do Demolition Man, probably the best thing to do is just go all the way through with it, as long as they're still blocking it, because the last part definitely does not look safe on block, but it gives you a pretty huge amount of pushback, like to the point where it's going to be really hard for your typical character to punish it. Unless this part is safer than the last part with its pushback, which I'm not quite sure about, it's probably the best to go through it all the way, because the pushback on the last part is really intense. Let me see if I can just show you super quick. I didn't really want to have to go into the menus here, but see that? It looks unsafe, but the pushback is good. Now see, check this. The second part just pushes him in there though, and does not give him hardly any pushback, and he definitely recovers later than Ryu. But see, this third part, lot of pushback, whole lot of pushback. You know, really gets you away from the situation just in general. So just make sure you know that about Demolition Man, because it does seem pretty useful in certain situations. Okay, so that's Phoenix Breaker. Now let's go into his Smasher. I think that's what it's called. Oh, actually, I think it's Phoenix Smasher. I'm sorry, Tekken fans. I'm probably butchering his moves right now. whatever this is called, it looks like a smasher to me. This move is interesting. I haven't really found a ton of uses for it yet, but it definitely seems like it has its place. One good thing about it is that if you time it correctly, you can basically jump directly over fireballs and punish something. The thing is, it's just a knockdown, so you won't be able to get any sort of follow-up on it unless you decide to spin the meter for the EX, which gives you a ground bounce. But you'd have to pretty much make damn sure that you're going to jump over that fireball, you know, or if not, you're going to waste the meter. But it seems okay. The thing is that it'll do the ground bounce regularly if you hit it in the air, similar to this move right here. But so far, any sort of combo I've tried to implement that into, I cannot get the juggle after the ground bounce. I don't know about the juggle systems in this game and everything. I haven't really got into that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure. It might just eat up juggle really quick, but I'll show you a combo later where I'm working on that I'm trying to implement this into, but I just simply can't get the juggle after the ground bounce. But anyway, it seems like it has its uses. It hits overhead as well, so that's pretty useful. It pretty much does not combo off of anything though, so be careful. Like you could maybe do some cool mix-ups if you decided to, you know, do it there. I haven't even worked on the canceling on that very well. But just know it doesn't combo. If you go for it, you go for it. And let me see if I can get it. Yeah, it looks, I can't tell if that's safe on block or not. It looks like, no, it might be safe. It might be safe. If it is safe on block, then that might change some things about the move. I haven't really messed around with it in that sort of way, but it might be safe. So I'll do some more testing. But yeah, if it's safe, that changes a lot of the properties of it. It could definitely be used in some good pressure strings. You know, it still just causes a knockdown, so unless you're using the EX version or you catch them in the air, it's ending your combo right there. But there's definitely uses for it. Anyway, and there's also a Shredder. Now this move, I think this is probably his least useful special move to me. I think that the thing is about this move is it's a dragon punch motion, of course, and you can juggle afterwards, which is cool, but I feel like with the way it does things with the multiple hits, you don't get as good of a juggle afterwards. But like I said, I don't know a ton about the juggle system in this game, like the actual in-depth stuff about it. But there's a couple really bad parts about this move, and number one is that it doesn't have any sort of invincibility. Even the EX version doesn't seem really any better. It just seems to do a little bit more damage, or maybe leave you in a slightly better position. And number two, it will miss on all crouching opponents. As far as well, maybe not like Hugo, but as far as I can tell, it misses on pretty much all crouching opponents, even if they're in a combo. So like the knee, which I use in combos a lot, does 90 damage, whereas this does 100. So I was trying to implement this into my combo somehow, but honestly, I'm not even sure if it's worth it, just because, you know, it can very easily miss on crouching opponents. It's not a thing to where it's like, oh, they have to be in the right position. Pretty much anybody that's crouching is going to miss on completely. But it can combo if you know, want to. I'm so not used to comboing it at all though, because I barely use it. It can combo fairly easily if you want to, and I guess it could make a decent anti-air if you maybe you know, space it out correctly, because it seems like a lot of it is more about horizontal control rather than vertical control. So I don't know, it has its uses, I feel like, and I'm sure that you could tack it on to a combo if the teammate is correctly used and stuff. But so far, I haven't found much use for it. I don't think it's a very good move, which is a shame. But, you know, I'm sure that there's somebody out there that can find something for it. Now, okay, we covered Phoenix Breaker, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's get into the knee. This is one of his most useful moves, guaranteed. Definitely learn to be, you know, using this when you need to. The thing is that it's not safe, as far as I can tell, on block. It's not the most unsafe move in the world, because it does leave you kind of in a partially, you know, lifted state. So it might be a little bit difficult to punish. But if anybody like Ryu, if anybody has a dragon punch, like, they're gonna eat that shit up all day. Like, if they block that dragon punch, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So just be ready for that. But the main use for the knee is in combos. It is a great combo extender, and also it can dodge fireballs. So if you have, you know, Hadouken Meister McGee over there shooting Hadoukens all day at your face, you can, if you time it correctly, you can dodge under there, get the knee in their face, bam, you know, that's how it goes. Now I forgot to, oh yeah, no, I did do that. Now the most important knee is the light version because it leaves you in a situation where you can combo afterwards. I can't seem to hit it right now, I don't know why. But the medium and heavies, push them way too far away, you won't get any sort of combo off of it, and they all do the same amount of damage. The EX version also puts you in a very good position to combo afterwards, you know, but it's just the fact that it uses up a bar and there's not really anything else special about it except it gives you a little bit more damage. I guess I could see the EX version being used in the same way as this. It's where, like, if you basically know you're going to dodge a fireball, sneak in there, you know, start a combo that way. And it does leave you in a better position. Like, you know, you can do combos easier afterwards than you would at a regular knee. But I don't think it's quite worth spinning the bar unless you just know this is the best way to do things. But yeah, that's the knee, and I'll go into the combos that use it in just a minute. But each knee has its own little thing, like depending on what button you press, he takes a certain amount of steps before he actually does the knee. So like I said, the light kick is the one you're wanting to be using the most. It's not any more safe or anything like that, it's just better for combos. But the medium kick and heavy kick seem to have their uses if you're good at dodging fireballs. I feel like there, oh okay, I was about to say, I feel like there's a special move I'm missing, and there totally is. Alright, so that's a knee. I'll definitely get back to that. I'm going to go over some combos after this. We're almost done with the moves. But this is his last special move. It's called the sway. Now, there's 3 versions of this move. The light version, he simply jumps back. The medium version, he jumps back and does an overhead-like attack, but the thing is, it's not an overhead. It is not. It's just an attack. And then the third version, he jumps back and he hits him with a punch that really makes him fly. Now, to me, these 2 versions of the move seem damn near useless because, as far as I can tell, they're both unsafe on block. And, I mean, what are you going to do after that? As far as I can tell, there's no way you can link after that or anything. And it's not even an overhead. And, you know, and this just shoots them far away, you know? I mean, that's cool and all, but not really that useful. But the light version, I do see some... Oh, and also the EX version, same thing, but he hits him with the Demolition Man and does a wall bounce. Now, the thing is, though, is, you know, this move is obviously kind of made to fake people out, but if you hit him with a huge flash like that, they're obviously going to know. That was an example of the bash in after the, you know, in the air. They're obviously going to know that this is coming, so... Well, I mean, I'm not obviously, but once they realize it, then they're going to know. And see, that's an example of the bash in and gives you a ground bounce. So, the EX version, that doesn't seem very useful along with the medium and heavy. But the light version, I see potential here. Because, number one, Paul has a really shitty backdash. Like, really shitty. It's a shame. But this can help him a little bit. There's no invincibility on it. But like I was talking about earlier with the counter on the standing heavy, it seems almost perfect for something like this, because let's say you're up in somebody's face and you're trying to, you know, play some games with them, whether it's wake up or something. Dash back, charge the counter, hit, bam. There's a counter right there. It's perfect amount of distance if you have the ability to fake them out like that, you know. And if you don't, I'm pretty sure that the standing fierce is safe on block. But if you have a counter hit ready, that kind of stuff can be useful. Dash back, you know, stuff like that. You know, get in there. I haven't really messed with the crumples yet. But it seems like there's potential there. You know, it's also just good to have a backdash that's quicker than his regular backdash, even though there's no invincibility on it at all. And there's some other things you could do with it, you know, I mean, backdash, you know, Phoenix Breaker, you know, backdash, medium, you know, stuff like that. Like, it leaves him in a lot of positions that a lot of his moves still connect, which is useful for him. So, there's a couple other things I was working on with it. I don't really remember exactly, but it seems like it could be useful. Mainly just the light version though, because I don't know. There might be something out there for the medium and heavy, and even the EX. You know, if you could find a way to combo into the EX, this is a really strong move. You know, it's basically the end of the Demolition Man right there. That's really nice. But so far, this seems to be the most useful. I mean, I think even your overheads will connect from there. Yeah. So if you know, if you had this and you overhead, boom, that's a combo right there, you know? I mean, very small combo, but if you decide to spend EX for the EX Phoenix Breaker, you could make it even bigger. But Anyway, that's all of his special moves, and you know, just like I said, similar to Guile, it's not like crazy special moves or anything. It's just basic special moves that, you know, need to be used correctly, you know, in the proper format for him to be the most successful. Now, let me go ahead and start trying to show some combos and stuff and some potential that he has. He can link off of his standing medium punch into a crouching medium punch, or either a crouching fierce. The crouching fierce is a little bit harder to time, but you can definitely link it. Yeah, there we go. And this, you know, this goes for everything, you know, off of any combo pretty much. It's the link is not very difficult once you get the hang of it. And, you know, of course, right from there you can go straight into the Phoenix Breaker or EX Phoenix Breaker or what. But there's much more combo ability than that with the knee. Yeah, and like I said, right to the fierce if you want to. You can even a lot of times jump in and get right to a fierce if that's what you're into. His crouching medium kick, very important move because it's special cancelable, and this combined with the knee can really bring you in close, especially if you know that it's been hit. You know, you might need to buffer the motion or something like that, but it can really bring you in close and get you a solid combo. Very important move. Also, pretty much, you know, all of his mediums are cancelable. It's definitely doesn't have the reach as his crouching medium, but yeah, his main, you know, he's not a mix-up monster. He's more about like kind of poking you into a string, or either just getting you with this nasty crossover. You know, like it's just this crossover is really good. So yeah, that's the kind of his most important moves to me. I feel like are his crouching medium. This is just a great poke, and if you decide that you want to go into a, you know, a combo like that or something, you know, it's very easy to link right into it because I mean whoa, my TV just cut out for a second. There's like not really a time that if you hit the crouching medium that the crouching heavy isn't gonna hit, especially, you know, even with the fist. Actually, that's weird. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so that's good for having that option, like, you know, and stuff. I can't pull off any of my combos right now. I don't know why. So yeah, crouching medium is a great move, this and that, and let's get into some combos and how to use the knee and stuff, what I feel like in really good ways. Now the light knee, like I said, leaves you in a great position to combo afterwards, either with a crouching medium punch if you're in the corner, or with a crouching medium kick if you're not in the corner. And this can lead to some really damaging combos for no meter whatsoever on Paul's part. So if you can hit a cross up, you can basically go into this combo from anywhere on the screen with a cross up or anything. I'm gonna try to do it without talking here because I have a lot of trouble playing fighting games when I talk. Let's see if I can get this combo down that I've been working on. See, after the knee, you connect with a crouching medium, and then another Phoenix Smasher. Not another one, but one to finish on. That does about 350 damage, just like that, and 337 damage, and that's off of the 2 mediums. If you decide to jump in, and if you have enough time to get a crouching fierce or something like that, that'll do even more damage. The timing is a little strict on the second crouching medium after the knee, but definitely not undoable. I usually can pull it off all day. I'm having a lot of trouble here for some reason. But yeah, that's the basic combo that I've been working on with him, and I think it's solid. I think that, you know, if I can pretty much do it whenever I want when I'm playing myself, but I don't know why I have so much trouble when I'm talking. There we go. But yeah, it's 337 damage. That's just from the medium jump in. If you're able to nail the heavy jump in, or, you know, with a fierce or anything like that, it does even more. It can get up to 358. And if you you know, if you want to just tack on some more damage with him, you know, not much more, but if you decide like that's not enough, or maybe that combo's too hard, you can always start it with the EX, do something like another one of those, and that's 358 damage. Not much more damage, but, you know, if you're the type of person that really wants to squeeze every bit of damage out of Paul as you could, then that's a good way to do it. Yeah, it's kind of dependent on the position of the person too. If you're too far away, like sometimes I don't think this will work. No, it works. It might just be my timing is still needs to be worked on. I've only worked on Paul for about a day here, but yeah, it's just timing, I guess. The crouching medium is really far, and it will work just fine once you get the hang of it. I usually can pull it off all day, but obviously I'm having a little bit more trouble here. So that's this kind of bread and butter combo I've been working on. I feel like is pretty solid. 340 damage with no bar. It's pretty good. And also, yeah, you can always, since this is cancelable into his super at any time, his super is also pretty good. He does a decent amount of damage, and it's awesome. Just fucking look at him. You can always tack that on, you know, or something if you want. Well, I should have tacked it on there, but yeah. And that'll do about 458 damage. It just depends on if you want to spin the bar or not. So that's that. And when it comes to the corner combos, he's kind of basically some. Oh my god, I've been talking for 30 minutes. He's pretty similar to well, not really similar to anything actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was just surprised I've been talking for 30 minutes. He's basically just about just adding like 1 or 2 more punches to his combos in the corner, as far as I can tell. Like it's the same basic stuff, except he can do 2 punches right there, and keep stuff going for, you know, add a little bit more damage to it, just like that. 355. That's regular damage, you know, in the corner, and yeah, that's kind of basically the bread and butter I've been working with him. It's good because not only does it really bring them far away from wherever they're at, you know, you can, if you start from mid screen, it'll work and it'll bring them towards the corner. But it's also good because, you know, it just does a lot of damage, and it doesn't cause any, you know, meter loss or anything like that. You know, he can really hold his own by himself, it seems like. And, you know, like I said, if you ever want to get in with the EX Smasher, then that's good too. And he's good for coming in, because with a character like Guile, if you... by the way, Guile's cross-up in this game, not really that bad. He's always had a really bad cross-up in Street Fighter 4, but in this game, it's not the best, of course, but it's really not that bad, because you can hit it so quick before you hit the ground, and it crosses up fairly well. Anyway, enough of Guile. If you know, if he decides he wants to come in for Guile after a flash kick, you know, boom, bash him to the ground and start a combo from there. I'm still working on, you know, coming in combos with him, but he seems like a really good character to come in with, because he can, you know, like I said, just pretty much bash him right there. Yeah, see, right there. I mean, that's a good way to start your match. They're already almost all the way in the corner, rolling right back to you, or either staying in the corner. And yeah, you know, there's other stuff you could do. You can do the EX, but I don't know how much that's worth it. And now, what I was talking about with this move, the Smasher, you can use this pretty well in a combo, but like I said, I'm not able to pick up after it. For instance, I'll show you what I've been trying to do. But well, that was just, you know, that was poor. I shouldn't have did the Phoenix Smasher, but I can never, even if I do a crouching medium kick, I just cannot get it to pick up. So I don't know what the deal is there. I guess it has just something to do with the juggle systems, or maybe my timing's just wrong and you don't have enough timing to do it, or what. But it definitely shows that the move has potential. It's just I can't figure out what that potential is, because it is clearly a ground bounce there, but I can't pick it up. See, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I'll experiment with it for a little bit longer. Yeah, that's kind of basically Paul. You know, he's got good solid normals, good solid specials, and good solid combos. Like even if you don't want to do the knee combo, because it is possible that it can be a little unreliable at times. Like once you get the hang of it, I usually can do it a lot better than I'm doing right now. But once you get the hang of it, it's really good, and it does a lot of damage. But if not, I mean, you can just do a combo like that, or even just that, and that's 256 damage. I mean, like, that's not bad. You know, I mean, if you're the type of person that's not a combo monster and just wants to do, you know, some good damage, Paul is he's got some good options for you. But he definitely has some combo options as well. Not a ton, but more than, you know, something like Guile or something. Yeah, that's basically Paul, really. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I missed. One thing that you should know about Paul is there's one aspect that he's pretty poor in, and that's Wake Up. Luckily, Wake Up is not as big of a factor in this game as it has been in you know, Street Fighter 4 and such. But he has a really bad backdash, as we've all also established, really bad, to the points where I don't even know if it's worth using. We'll see. I'm sure that there's some times it could be worth using. And also, since he has no invincibility on his Dragon Punch, you know, there's not much option there either. There's really not. So just know that. I mean, it's not a huge factor in this game. It really isn't. But it is nice to have, you know, a Dragon Punch and stuff like that. And the fact that he doesn't really have very many get out of jail free cards. I mean, he's got this, but if he whiffs, then, you know, that's he's getting eaten up. And the EX version of this is more unsafe, so be careful about that. Just firing it out. But yeah, he's pretty poor on Wake Up, and he, you know, that's definitely not one of his strong points. But other than that, I think Paul is a really solid character. I think that hopefully we'll see a little bit more of him, because I feel like he has a lot of damage potential in this game, and people, I just feel like, are spending way too many meters in this game. Like, I feel like people are just chewing through meters, just like, ooh, switch cancel, you know, like, that's the way I feel. And of course, I'm not that great at this game. I haven't hardly played it very much at all. Once I got it, I was so distracted with other things that I was not able to, you know, really mess with it very much. But I think that he's good, and I think that he's good with meter management, and I think that he's good with, you know, a lot of different things. And, you know, hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more Paulie, because I like his hair. It's pretty awesome. It works really well with Guile. Oh wait, I can't. I was about to say, I wish I could get them both on the screen at the same time, but I can't. This is so stupid. You're so stupid, AI Paul. God. Anyway, yeah, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully this gave you, I mean, I know I'm not you know, an expert. I wish I could pull off these combos like they were nothing. Maybe next time I try to do these, I'll do a post commentary, because I really do feel like I perform a lot better without talking as I play. I'm not trying to just bullshit that. But thanks for watching. Hopefully it gave you a little bit more of an insight on Paul and stuff, and you know, maybe some more tips or something. I don't know. You know, pick them up if you like kind of basic characters that get you a lot of damage and stuff. Try him out, because I think he's a really solid character that has a lot of good options and is being pretty heavily overlooked right now. So you know, yeah, just do that. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll finish it with his cross. Oh no, this is this again. Look at AI Paul. Look at, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? You're trying to grab from like half screen away. I'll finish it with this. Oh, okay. I was gonna hopefully. Oh, that was sick. I don't think I've seen Guile's cross this whole yet. Oh, awesome.